So greetings, dear ones. I'm just adjusting this for a moment. I'll have to keep this on charge also. So greetings to you, and let me just share this with a couple of others also. Those who are watching the recording can just forward it for 2 minutes. Meanwhile, I'll just wait for 2 minutes for a minute for people to join in. We're almost done. Yes, so here we are. Greetings. And those who are not able to get it on Facebook, I would recommend you to just take it from YouTube, because just in case. For some people, Facebook is not compatible. I'll just send you this link from here also. YouTube also. So greetings everyone, pranams to all of you. Today we have this topic of handling life in unfavorable conditions. I just came in late, that's why it took some time to arrange all these things. I think I'm done now. That's all done. Today I was busy just fixing up the website with the events and all that. I'm just trying to update it. For a long time I didn't update it. So I put in all your comments, all your feedbacks, your reviews, your testimonials, whatever you call it. थोड़ा बहुत publicity तो बनता है ना. Because how will people know otherwise? These things are going on, and I just have to intimate the people. I don't go and post it anywhere else, just on my Facebook profiles and WhatsApps and all that. So in case you are already signed in, you will get directly these updates. And yes, I'm getting still those questions and all. I would suggest please write those questions, note it down somewhere, and during the weekends we will have Zoom sessions where all the people who have subscribed to these platforms, only for them, it's only for them, not for the public. So I will be addressing all your concerns, all your doubts, clarity, especially on the path of awareness, on the path of Atma Chintan. This constantly needs your watch. It is very important, very, very important, because it might look very easy. It's not. I have experimented with all this, like, Atma Chintan and Atma Vichara, or trying to find out myself and trying to be one with it and all that. Just by reading books, it's not possible. Or even by watching videos, it's not possible. Because there are so many minute things, subtle things, so many Little also, you, in that abstract sense, little also, if you, the mind comes in, you're gone. The whole thing is that way. Many get caught up in the mind because they feel they are proceeding somewhere, but they are proceeding somewhere else, and what they feel is the self is not really the self. So they are very minute, very minute. You can get caught up actually in that. So it needs a lot of practice, lot of precision in that, and especially somebody who can show you that, somebody who can rectify or immediately identify, no, that's not it, or guide you there. That mentoring is what I'm talking about. Is needed till you get a glance, till you get a glimpse of that. Then you will understand how to proceed further. But till then, guidance is needed, because I've seen many people who are actually lost in it. I've seen years, decades they are in the practice of who am I, but not able to find out. I have not seen them directly. I get feedback, especially from the Westerners only. I get a feedback. And when you talk to people only, you come to know very much what are they exactly talking about. So many say, "Oh, what you're talking, we know already about it." If you already know, then why are you not there? This is a simple thing. So knowing is one thing intellectually, and then experiencing it, practice nididhyasana is something. So during nididhyasana, if you are not very careful, you can get caught up. And it's very easy to get caught up. It's not very difficult to get caught up. Because the mind is very cunning. The mind creates everything, the mind experiences everything. The mind creates the problem also, mind gives the solution also, and mind experiences both the cases. In the problem, how you are, and when you have the solution also, how you are. Mind experiences both also. Mind will complain about it, mind will praise it also. Mind will try to run away from it. Mind will only make you bring back to it. Where are you running? The mind only will ask you. Mind only will tell run, and you'll follow your mind. Next instant, the mind will tell you where are you running. So, if you are not a person who is mastering in the viveka or the awareness, you can get caught very easily. And there can be a feeling that, oh, it's all there. That is why I'm very careful whenever it comes to even experiences. I'm not very happy about it. I'm not so proud about it. Nor do I appreciate anybody's experiences. People give all kind of experiences. They're all good, okay, fine, it's good. You're enjoying them and all that good. But when it comes to seeking the self, there is nothing else. Everything else is false. When it comes to that level of self seeking, on the lower levels, it's fine. All that is fine. When we are still handling with the awareness, understanding the mind, playing with the mind, and trying to work out the mind, trying to be aware of those things. All those levels, it's okay. But the moment you enter into that space of Atma Vichara, everything else goes for a toss. Because anything else other than the self is ego. So you must understand this very clearly. Anything other than the experience of self is all ego's work, including your visions, your experiences, your good feelings, your so called spiritual evolution. It's all ego based. So the mind will one day convince you, mind will only degrade you the other day. The mind will feel proud about it, and the mind only will feel disgusted by it. And the mind only becomes neutral also. This is the cunningness. That neutrality also, till the moment you are seeing that neutrality, that is also ego only. Because the experience of self, there is absence of everything else Firstly, the experiencer itself dissolves. There is no one to even claim that I had this experience. Whenever you claim that I had this experience, I am feeling this, that I is the problem. That I is the mind, that output of that ego. So I don't recommend anybody going to that levels because you will hallucinate. And until Vishay Vasana is there, that's not going to happen. Simple, I'm telling you. Practical advice. If you like, take it. Otherwise, experiment with it. Till the time you have Vishay Vasanas. And Vishay Vasanas means actually it is there. I don't mean it is there in your mind. That you sit one day and say, oh, how much attachment I have with people. How much attachment I have with the world. Oh, this much I have. Okay, let me reduce it. It won't work that way. Vishay Vasanas will be seen to an aware person who is working continuously on awareness. That awareness will catch every moment the Vishay Vasana. Vishay Vasana means the Vasana towards the world, anything towards the world. Might be health, wealth, success, family, relationships, possessions, your obsessions, your cravings, your urges, tendencies, all that pull towards anything other than the self is known as Vishayavasana. So this Vishayavasana is a subject, is a matter to be objectively observed. It has to be observed. Who can observe? Only awareness can observe. And in that observance which is happening, that witness which is happening, there is no condemning, there is no judgment. You just know about it, that's it. You're just aware of it. There is this vasana in me. You'll not even say that, oh, I have this vasana, now what to do? That is all mind ego games. It is gone later. Awareness will just see. It knows it is there. It will not neither think about destroying it, neither think about what to do and all those things. It is just aware. That is what I'm teaching you. So don't get me wrong. It People send me messages, oh, I know this, I know you don't know it. Because what you think you know, that even I know. That is all knowledge stuff. I'm trying to put you into that state of that awareness where you just know things. There is no describer after that. And until you master that, you cannot get into Atma Vichara. If you're trying to do that, you're trying to take a shortcut. And that shortcut will pull you down. It's like a sand mountain you climb, you will slip down. Till you get a proper grip, you're going to keep slipping down. And you can also get wrong ideas when you try to do that. A lot of wrong ideas will come. So instead of getting into all that complication, and the other complication that will have if you directly try to attempt self contemplation right now, you will mess up your worldly life. You might even incompletely try to do something. So I always keep on warning people, let this self inquiry not be an escape route. I'm fed up with life. Let me try and find myself and realize it. It's not going to happen, guys. It doesn't work that way. If you're fed up, that fed up itself says you are still connected to your miseries. There is a reaction happening there. And that reaction will not take you to the self. It might take you to myself, the self with the identity, but it will not take you to the self. Because this, I'm fed up with the life, is a Vishayavasana. It's an outcome of the Vishayavasana. All your reactions that you have, plus minus, is all an outcome of the Vishayavasana. All the good reactions that you have. Wow, life excellent. I did it. Or my people did it. Vishayavasana. Oh, I didn't get this. Oh, horrible. What's happening with me? What are these conditions? I'm fed up. Vishavasana. These are all both outcome of Vishavasanas. These can happen only when you are connected and strongly attached to the world. Only when you're attached, only you can get pain or pleasure to the world. So that you have to understand very carefully. And until these Vishavasanas are annihilated or reduced drastically, there is no chance of anybody reflecting on the self. How many books you read, how many videos you see, it's not going to happen. That is the reason I'm saying side by side. Do the destructive process. There are so many ways where we are unburdening. I'm doing these programs, forgiveness and all those things. Don't underestimate it. They are just not for namesake. They are all connected to your journey towards the self. I know it very well where the catches are. If those emotions, those feelings, those reactions, you don't identify the source of those reactions, any path will not give you any light. So the success of any path or success of the journey depends on the scientific approach of studying, analyzing, and finding out the root cause which is preventing you from going to the self. Simple words. You have to be completely 100% aware of everything that is preventing you from going towards yourself. What we do, we try to find out ways which enhances our way to the self. My method is different. I give it the opposite approach because I've seen that is a success rate, there is a failure rate there. So everybody finds out which way gives me faster growth, in which way I can move ahead faster. But nobody sees what is breaking you down. What is that pull that is pulling you back? And without working on that pull, if you try to just go ahead, you might go with full speed, but that obstacle which you have is like a rubber band. And the faster you go, and little you miss out there, like zoop will come down back to that place. That is why many people have these falls and they keep regularly falling and they say, why am I falling all this time? I take 2 steps and then I feel it feels like I'm taking 3 steps behind. Because of this. What is this behind 3 steps? That pull behind. So you're not taking care of those issues. And you're not listening to people who know about those issues. Because we all feel we are fully knowing these things. See, if we simple thing is if we know, then there is no point in going anywhere, listening to anybody, understanding anything. Because if you know, then you should just do it. The question is, if I know it, then why it is not happening? That means there is something that is still unaddressed. For that is where we take help. For that are certain roles there to give you help. Because that's where the give and take happens. Receiving help and giving help. So until somebody doesn't need help, help cannot come. See, that is what I keep telling. Yesterday also I was telling this, that there are people who want help, but they are either shy or so much of ego. I don't want to approach. I don't want to ask any questions. So they will try to just study everything from here, this video, this place, this guru, that guru, this path, that book, this scripture, everywhere. But then they are not getting that. So they feel if not here, it is there. If not there, it is there. If not here, somebody will give me some hope or something. And in that, if you find somebody who's giving you Santana, oh, you're a nice person, you're doing good, and you must keep going. कितने अच्छे हैं आप, कितने सुंदर है आप, आपकी मुस्कान कितनी सुंदर है, आप कितने अच्छे लोग. Enough. You'll sink back into your seat. Because the mind is very acquainted, very tempting. It's very ललायत रहता है हमेशा. प्रशंसा सुने, अच्छा सुने, कोई सांत्वना दे. Somebody give assurance. Even if it is false, I don't worry. But for the moment, I'm happy. And for that moment, it will make you apahij, handicapped. And that is what Santona giving people want. अपाहिज होके बैठो, आप मेरे पर निर्भर रहो. Simple fundas this is. You depend on me because I'll keep on giving you hope. That's not going to solve anybody's problem. Look around, it has not solved. For decades together, it has not solved all this. Hopes don't give anybody anything. You must be very direct in that approach. And that is why very few people are ready to take the direct approach of addressing the issue directly. Either they raise up their awareness in such precision that they can look at razor sharp discrimination and attack that point, or they take the help of somebody else who's in that state. That's what we are talking about. So if it is overlooked, I don't mean that you have to, and that's what I'm trying to say. The whole attempt is to try to make you independent. Independent in the sense you develop your viveka in such a manner that you don't have to depend on anybody else. Santona ho ya criticism, be it praise or criticism, you don't have to depend on others. You become your biggest critic. खुद अपने क्रिटिक बनो. क्यों क्रिटिसिज्म का हिस्सा सुनना है? खुद अपनी तारीफ करो, खुद अपना क्रिटिसिज्म करो. बिकॉज जब आप खुद करते हो, when you do it yourself, in from the state of awareness and not from ego point. The ego point again will get caught. You should know that. That's why I'm telling you. Main is awareness. So if you're in a high state of awareness and then you criticize yourself or you praise yourself, you know the intention behind it. But when somebody criticizes you from outside or praises you from outside, you don't know their intention. You never know their intention. Only you can know your intention. So who's your best guide? You. And if you have to become your own guide, you have to learn to activate this inner being within you, which knows everything. That is what Ramana taught all his life. He taught this all his life, that the outer guru or outer mentor, outer coaches, outer whoever XYZ, they all come with a purpose to lead you to your inner guru, inner coach, inner mentor, inner guide. That is the purpose of spirituality. If this is missing, then you remain outward all the time. And what is the point? We are trying to say going inward, opposite direction. Outward will take you towards the Vishaya, inward will take you towards the Sattvasana. Outward, whoever it is, even if it is the physical form of your Guru, is Vishayavasana. Vishaya means objective, anything dualistic. I different, that different. That is objective. Objective will always throw you apart. It will create a bridge between you and that. Satvasana will drive you inside towards that oneness. This is the basic of spirituality. If this must be taught, how I hope that in this all spiritual schools, all spiritual paths, this must be taught before venturing into any path. How beautiful it would have been. Every path just gives this very clear instructions on this part, what I'm telling you. Outside is Vishayavasana, inside is Sattvasana. You are being trained or your journey is towards Sattvasana. And as more you go into a Sattvasana, you have to keep discarding everything. You don't have to do it, it will happen on its own. If you're still clinging outside to whoever it is, it just means your Vishayavasana is strong. What is that Vishayavasana? Your attachment is very strong. Clinging. Now, clinging might be of many reasons. It might be out of love, attachment. Love is nothing but attachment, Vishayavasana. Or it might be out of fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being anchored somewhere. Fear of needing protection from outside. Fear of needing support from outside. that losing that fear. Why? Because you have not known who you are yet. You still believe that something outside is going to support you, care for you. What is this? Pure Vishayavasana. In the outside world also, you depend on your parents, your spouse, the people around you, the world at large. You depend completely on them. In the spirituality also, you're doing the same thing. You're depending on somebody or the other, and then you give it so many names, that it is this and it is that. The excuses, so many excuses. I'm trying to see that point. I don't know. I didn't note this down. But, Upadeshasaram, this is a very beautiful thing that says, it talks about not clinging on to anything, however divine that thing might be. Now, I have to refer to these because if I tell you, you will feel this is my personal opinion. These are not personal opinion. These are the truths of spirituality. And these deeper and higher truths, if you want to lead to that place, then all the lower wisdom will have to go. There are two types of wisdom, the higher wisdom and the lower wisdom. Lower wisdom is for the novices, the people who are in the starting stages and they need support. See, it is as good as you need parents. A child, small child cannot be told you don't need parents. They need parents. Till when? Not forever. Once the child grows up, once they become independent, the parents' responsibilities withdraw. Slowly it dies down. Then maybe you get married. And if you get married, then there is someone else now entering into your life and you are independent. At that time, the parents cannot crib. No, we brought you up, so we are going to bring you up again further also. We are going to guide you in our life. We are till your deathbed, we are going to guide you. And you have to listen to what I say. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. And what is the role of the parents? Parents are mature enough to understand that the child has grown up and they have an independent life. Now they must independently live. I should not be a barrier in that. A parent who doesn't do this is not a parent actually. They're unconscious parents. Consciously, nobody can do this. Spiritually, nobody can do this. A parent who is aware can never do this. They know their limited responsibility. And they know that the child came to them so that they can prepare them to make them so powerful and independent. Now they have to withdraw back. Once they see that the child is standing on their own legs, it is foolish for any parents to say that, no, I will dictate to you, now you have to listen to me. The guru's work also is that way. The mentor's work also is that way. Any coach, any teachers that you have in all your life, you see, they have limited functions. Is your school teacher going to come and teach you today how to live life? During schooling, ho gaya. University, another professors are there, lecturers are there. Once their lecture is over, then you will get on with life. Then you will listen to your wife's or husband's lecture. That's another story. But somebody else will be there as the phases. Then one day you will finish all the lectures. You don't want any lectures from yourself. You'll start only giving lectures to yourself. You don't listen to anybody's lecture, but you listen to only your lecture. That is your mind. One day you'll be fed up with that lecture also. The day you get fed up with your every lecture, every guidance that is coming from here and there, you're done. You're ready to fly. Till then, Vishevasana, keep clinging, whatever you name it, however divine you give that name. I'm not getting that. That beautifully it said. I don't know if you are here, Poonam or Malaji. You're all experts now into Upadesh Saram. If you can just try to get that for me. It says something like, however, the reasons are, don't fall for it. Something like that it is. Some words in this. I think I can discuss one or two. It talks completely about steps from one by one. And this I'm telling you again, why you're talking about how to live in your environments. What you're talking, my environment is this, my environment is bad. How to live in an environment that is not conducive. We are talking about that only. We are talking about an environment where you're stuck up somewhere or things are affecting you from outside. And I'm giving you the same. I'm not directly going and addressing, oh, you become positive, you do this or nonsense. It doesn't work all that. You first have to go to the deep roots of where this is, why it is affecting. It's like simple words I said. Why anything affects you positively or negatively is your attachment to it. Simple. Somebody, that person is giving me a lot of pain. You're attached to that person. This person gives me a lot of love and this. You're attached to that person. Fourth verse, Anita ji. Let's see. No, it said in the end somewhere, however that is, whatever that thing is, you cannot, however, sorry, something, I don't know what it is. No, Poonam is not here. She would have caught it. She is literally in that. This is how one must meditate on this Upadesha Saram. So step by step, Upadesha Saram teaches you to leave one thing. Not to leave, but as you progress, it will tell you you have got to keep on discarding. One by one, you got to keep discarding. No, Malaji, not that. Anyways, I'll see where is that. Okay, I was telling about this phrase where he talks about leaving everything, all one by one. Okay, everybody's giving me verses. Okay, 16 verses. Jitesh, let me just check it out. Well, I'm doing this on live. I expect to be doing this more on the Zoom. We will be doing in this manner where I will include everybody and we will be having a full discussion. No, somewhere in the commentary it is, huh? Not in the this. You will find it somewhere in the commentary. See, a good test. We know it is there somewhere, but nobody knows where it is. So a time should come, we should quickly say it is in verse so and so. This part, yes, this is part is then. So every verse will tell you where you are in life. Once you understand your spiritual journey, then Upadesha Saram will tell you exactly where you're standing in life and it will tell you next what to do. So with this idea only you will understand it. Then there is no fear, there is no worry, then no need to ask somebody. You know from inside. The inner guidance starts coming from inside. Now what happens is, see, if a certain stage comes, here what we are saying here, nobody will guide you. I have not seen anybody guiding from outside. Telling, I've never seen anybody telling Karam Kand Chodo. You're done with it. So if for example, you go and tell somebody, I'm not able to do puja anymore, hardly will anybody tell you, okay, don't do puja. Very different. Because if you are living in a place where Karmakanda is the source, very difficult. And if you have somebody, a priest or somebody, is teaching you that or is fully in that, they will never allow you to quit that form and go into the formless. I've seen so many times when we argue, when we have this kind of debate on non-duality and duality, the people who are in duality, they'll feel offended. They will challenge literally, it's not there. But the progression in all the Shastras are saying that you have to go beyond this. And that is the problem when people come to that state, there is nobody to guide them. And everybody is doing what they have been doing all the time. Nobody tells them iske aage kya. So they are confused. They are scared sometimes because the whole world is doing something. "Hey, if I do something different, am I going on the wrong side?" You're not going on the wrong side. If you are going on the wrong side, then all these are wrong. All whom we are referring is wrong. So here, yes, for example, Uttamam stava ucchamandata chittajam japa dhyanamuttamam. This is sixth verse, where it is saying silent meditation in the mind is higher than the best devotional praise or uttering the sacred names loudly or softly. Now, sixth verse, it has come, the seeker has come to that state where now all the saying, all the bhajan, sankirtans, the japas, and all the ucharan, the praises, the songs, devotional praise sung for the Lord, sung for the Guru, tum mahan, all those things which is there, it is good to a certain level, but when a seeker reaches to that level of silence, suddenly it becomes very inward, and that person turns more silent, and then no more there is interest in singing any kind of bhajans or kirtans or even stotrams or any kind of mantra japas, any kind of thing that is involving, it says, involving or the uttering of sacred names loudly or softly. जोर जोर से आप गाओ उस चीज को या मन में भी उसको ये करो. So softly you say, you say something very loudly that everybody hears, or you say it softly only to yourself. He says at this state, silent meditation in the mind is higher than the best devotional praise or uttering the sacred names loudly or softly. Now tell me, who will tell it's okay if I'm not feeling like singing? I say I don't, and this has happened to me. I've been telling this in the life for almost 2 years now. I don't feel like singing any bhajans. Those days were different. There was once upon a time I sung only bhajans and so much of praise for my master, for the Lord, and everything was there, full of enthusiasm. It was good for that state. But a state comes when you don't feel like singing anymore. And I was thinking something is wrong with me, and the world is good enough to tell me you're wrong. पहले से तो नहीं रहे तुम्हारी भक्ति क्षीण हो गई, तुम मार्ग भ्रष्ट हो गए, पथ भ्रष्ट हो गए. You are not doing these what you are doing before. And I believed them because my vivek was not strong. And everybody is doing all the same thing. So I felt, oh, maybe what the crowd is doing, I should do. And then eventually I mustered up enough courage to just follow my heart. Past 2 years I've been talking only about following your heart. not getting acquainted with any other things which you are not feeling. It's not about that thing is wrong or something. When you don't feel for it, you don't feel for it. That's as simple as that. That does not determine if I'm on the path or not on the path. What determines I'm not on the path or on the path is this lack of awareness. If I'm dropping my awareness and I'm living an unconscious life, that is going pathbrushed, going off the track. So you'll see a lot of people who talk about going off the track or not on the right track with their own philosophies. And that's when the Lord puts these philosophies in your lap. And this was 100% reconfirmation for me to understand that what has been happening in my life inside is very much true. Whether the world accepts it or not, whether anybody accepts it or not, but the Lord is in acceptance. He is fully accepting it. That's my strength. That's my inspiration. And now when I know this very clearly, and I'm teaching it to the world. And what I'm reading from the, it's not, this is all experimented in my life. I'm not just reading, I'm impressed. I found something. See, hey guys, I found something, listen to this. No. I have completely utara hai isko zindagi mein. And I've experimented with every verse, what I'm seeing. When I'm convinced only, I have the conviction to talk about it. Preeta, does it mean ajapa japa? Yes, but not at this state. It is not at this state, ajapa japa. That also will go off. It is at a later state in some other verses. At this state, they're just talking about ucharan of anything loudly or softly. Better than that is meditation. So every verse, what it is telling is one after the other. What is better than the other? First, it says puja and all is good enough. Worship. Then it says better than that is chanting the name of the Lord. Better than that. So after a certain stage, he says better than this is silent meditation. So it goes on. 30 verses are there. It is going deep, 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 deep inside. Yeah, somebody saw Abhishek says 19 verse. Okay, let's see. No, it's not here. Because just Mega is saying 25. No, not here also. Actually, it just says that however virtuous, I got that word. However virtuous that explanation might be, when the time comes, you have to leave it. Anything outside. The word was virtuous. It's like I'll have to read the whole thing now. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is all these problems that you got, the whole in the commentary 16 where one leaves the Atman modes. Yeah, that's a good point what you say. See what Jitesh is pointing out, that's a good one, but that's not precisely what I'm saying. 16 verse is a one leaves aside Atma, which are the most efficient. There is no other adequate mean to subside. This is very deep. This is very, very deep. This state we have not reached. 16th verse. This is that state when all your Vishaya Vasanas are almost done with. And then when you enter into Atma Vichara, now it is saying, apart from Atma Vichara, there is no other adequate means to subside the mind or to kill the mind. Yesterday we were saying. So I don't know if you guys are continuously watching my videos, you'll have lot of continuity. If you're seeing from here and there, you might not understand. So yesterday, whoever saw, you will see that I was talking about Manonasha. So this is talking actually about Manonasha. Otherwise, it will rise again. See, the mind will rise again, it says. Until Manonasha happens, and only Atma Vichara can kill the mind. Atma Vichara is possible only if one turns attention from otherness, Vishayavasana, and other persons that make up the objective. So now you will see all your life problems or all your environment that you say, this is not good, that is not good. This environment and people are nothing but Vishayavasanas. So on like I told you, better than puja, it says is better than you, that is do your japa or any kind of ucharan you do loudly or softly, that is much better than puja. But much better than that is dhyana, which is only silent meditation. Then it goes further again. In silent meditation, there is interrupted meditation, there is uninterrupted. Uninterrupted is better. Then it goes on continuously, it goes on refining. So when you reach those states, then you are not a puja person. Karma kanda is gone. It's not your part, your cup of tea anymore. So there, if you go according to the worldly norms, no, that there are many families where karma kanda ke bina nahi hota. So okay, it doesn't mean that karam kanda means you are going to then look at it very oddly or look at it as lowly. No, all these aspects, what I'm telling, nobody looks down upon it. Like if I'm in the dhyana state, I will not look upon, hey, puja. You have respect for it because that also is the saguna form of the Lord only. Those practices also are there, but it will not matter to you. You are done with it. You have risen above that. So you that is not your hold anymore. But you don't disrespect it. So it is like in Tiruvannamalai when we are having retreat and we are doing Upadesha. It was fun. So I was giving them a lot of constant mind work, homework. So all the time I was vigilant. So we were learning to live in awareness. Like they were going for food all the time. There also I was completely aware, watching. We are having fun and all that, but I'm watching again who's aware, who's not, who's dropped the awareness and all this. And then we bring it up in the sessions and then we laugh over it and all these things. And we understand where we are going wrong and what we need to do. So on that term, what is happening is everywhere they are continuously aware all the time, continuously aware of it. And when they are going for Girival, for example, in the bus, we went one night for the Girivalam. So at every spot, we were stopping. And the Shivalingas were there. We were worshipping and all that. So there also, I was just observing. And many were running for Vibhuti and Darshan, seeking. All the Sarashi is already there. And we were there. So when we came back, I didn't admonish them because maybe they are at that state. Who knows? If they are still in the karma kanda, I cannot tell them don't do it. But I was just trying to make them aware. So I asked them a question. So till where do we feel we have all reached in the spiritual journey? So everybody said verse 10, verse 15, verse 20. I said we are not even above 2. Second verse. How? They read it again. Second verse is still dealing with the karma kanda. Oh no, I have risen. No, thinking will not make you right. What is your vasana? Your vasana is still there. Whatever that is. Unknowingly, it is there means it is there. So your knowledge does not make you to that level. That is what I am trying to tell you. This knowledge is only to give you an understanding. But just because you know till verse 30 doesn't mean you have then if you have reached verse 30, then you are Atma Sakshat. Why 30, 20, 22 only if you reach, you are self-realized. But it doesn't go that way. Every verse has to be reflected within, and we have to see where are we. So how fond are we? Like somebody told me the other day they had gone to Isha Foundation. Last Sunday I had called them and they were telling they are there. And they were saying that, okay, there is puja going on, all that aarti going on, bhavya, all very good, but I was, we were feeling like laughing. It was like funny because the energy is so good and we are connected and all that. So there, what is happening? There is a disconnection that is already happening from within. There is no karma kanda anymore. These are people who are grasping the Upadesha Sarana and they are trying to live it in their practical lives. All that is good. But again, what I meant to say is it might look lowly, but never look down at it also. Because that also is a powerful mean for somebody who's at that state. The Saguna worship, for them it's powerful. Maybe not for me. So I allow and I respect those people who are doing it. Let them also do, but never look down on them. Then otherwise it's a complex that's coming. I am verse 8, then look at them, they are verse 2. It's something like that. So that also one has to be a little careful about, because Ramana also never admonished anybody. See, in this verse only it is saying what I just read. The Maharishi is not rejecting the singing of hymns or recitation of devotional poetry. His devotees also sang his verses while begging food in Ramanashram or while walking with him around the sacred. So he's okay with it. And forget that, he himself also wrote so many songs on Arunachala Ramana. So he might not write it for himself, but he's writing it for those who are in that state. So that is spiritual maturity where you're seeing all forms, accepting. Because what is Advaita? Advaita means you are accepting the dual as well as the non-dual. Accepting the non-dual as well. I have seen many people who are pure Advaitins. They call themselves Advaitins or non-dualistic people. They have an aversion towards dualistic. So they will say Hamara Advait. When you say Hamara Advait, two हो गया कि नहीं? हमारा तुम्हारा आ गया ना? Ours is Advait and yours is this. Gone. You have separated. You have made it dual. So you are living in a dual understanding, but you are believing you are non-dual. Only awareness can show you this. So you have to be very, very aware. That is why I'm telling you, sharpen your awareness like anything, and awareness will do everything. If awareness is weak, do not walk the spiritual path by your mind. Many of us are walking the spiritual path by our mind. Mind will always give you the false impression. I won't go into all this very deeply. But see, your worldly problem that is coming, your environments that is not good, not conducive, what to do? My environment is bad. Situations are bad. People around me don't understand. My mother-in-law gives me trouble. My sister-in-law gives me trouble. My animals are provoking me. My helpers are provoking me. My husband is provocative. My wife is sarcastic. They will all be there. Till you have fallen into the soup. What is the soup? Samsara is soup. Drama. In drama, can you accept only heroic acts? There will be villains, there will be jokers, there will be all kind of things that is happening here. And you have voluntarily entered here, all for the price of bhog, experiencing something. Why? That lalait, ji lal chahe, raha na jaye. That condition is what brought us here. रहा ना जाए. तो वो थोड़ा एक्सपीरियंस के लिए वी हैव कम हियर विथ द अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट there is a price to pay. It is not only maja, there is saja also. So you knowingly you have come into the dual aspect. And today, if we are cribbing, I don't want the dualistic aspect and I don't want my negativities. I want only positive environment. It's foolish. So it is my duty to tell you on the spiritual path, there is no escape to this. All other places you will get santana. You will get lot of remedies. Aise karo, parihar. Do this and do this. Everywhere the run is to change the environment, to change the situation. But what we are talking here is changing you yourself to such a way, changing you not to change others. That also there is another catch. They'll say, you transform yourself and others will transform. The situations around you will transform. False. Like the Upadesha Saram I'm telling you. One is lower level. There you say, my environment is not correct. So let me do some totkas. Let me try up some yantras here and there. Let me put some mantras here and there. Let me take the help of tantras, go to a tantric. Yantra, mantra, tantra. This is all to change your circumstances. You are trying to change the environment, but you are not talking about yourself. Tamasic, this is. These are my definition. I have not read it anywhere. But what I perceive, I'm telling you. This is a tamasic approach where you are only brutally wanting to change the environment for your own selfish need. Why do I want to change the environment? So that my shanti may raho. So what kind of intention is this? Pure selfish intention. Because I don't care of anybody's life agenda. I'm not bothered about what is their life lesson, what they have to learn. All that I want is my peace, my happiness. That's it. Tamasic, I call it. The next level is Rajasic, where I evolve when I say, I don't want to change the environment. I will change. I will change. Why? Because when I change my circumstances also. See, there's still that I, Rajasic I is there. I am changing because I can now change the environment much better than the previous one. But still here, that command is there. That intention is still, I am changing, but for what? So that others change. Why others change? So that I am happy. Comes back to selfishness only. So this is a little dominating kind of this. I'm taking command. Rajasic, I call it. My perception these are. And Sattvic is when I change myself for the sake of others. For the sake of myself, for the sake of others. Highest good of myself, highest good of others. I always tell this. Any approach in spirituality, if you take with this secret mantra, for my highest good and for the highest good of all, if you go with this, you will have lot of success. Because now what you're trying to do is, I am changing myself regardless of what my surrounding is, regardless of what other people think of me or what their life agenda is. This is a very beautiful maturity where I understand. I've come to that mature terms that where I understand every drama, every life around me is all playing according to their karmas. सब अपना अपना कर्म लेके आए, सब अपना अपना कर्म भोग रहे. You will have crystal clear understanding that if somebody in around me is not listening to me and they are egoistic, that is the part of their life karma and they have lessons to learn. So from that spiritual point of view, I am looking at it very deeply and I allow that person to play the role, whatever that person has come to learn or do. I do not want to interfere. If somebody is very happy with me and all conducive with me, all okay with me, all nice to me, flattering and praising me, still I'm not affected because I know that's still another part of the Their games, what they're playing, their karmic outlets, what they're doing. I don't get affected by that also. And if they are not listening to me, yeah, you better put a earphone, Amrita. My voice is low, I know, because it's midnight here, and I don't want to disturb the neighbors just because we want to do a satsang here. Please understand and put a earphone on your ears. So if somebody is offending me, somebody is not liking me, somebody is not listening to me, somebody wants to do whatever they want, I have the spiritual understanding to know that that is also their life goal, life agenda, soul agenda they're doing. And I have no right to play the director there. So now I am transforming myself because I want to get out of this attachment, this Vishay Vasana. What is all this being affected by all your even close ones is nothing but Vishay Vasana. So now I don't want to get affected by this because I have my own karmic journey also. My journey calls for something higher. So what is higher? What does higher mean? It is to slowly get rid of my Vishay Vasanas. Not get rid of the Vishayas, not get rid of people. That I ask them to get out or I ignore. Nothing to do with it. Why I'm talking about the Vasana, the attachment, the inclination that I have towards the Vasana. It is not the Vishayas itself. It is the Vasana, the clinging, the attachment towards that, whether hate or love. So here then I become so mature, I begin transforming myself, understanding and respecting everything around. Just like Upadesha Saram says, you don't have to demean somebody, you don't have to look down upon somebody just because you have outgrown them. Here also you have enough spiritual maturity and you don't look upon them as down. You look upon them as players in the cosmic field of this cosmic drama. And now, if your spirituality and maturity has grown to such a level, you will feel compassionate for them and not aggressive towards them. Because you are looking at that level of understanding that they have, and you have compassion because probably you have also been through that. So now you know why people are doing certain things. Unconsciously, they are doing it out of their compulsions, vasanas, or their karmas, karmic effects. So most of the time, they're helpless. So this is what we did the session in the forgiveness. See, now you'll understand because you have seen we have done these programs of forgiveness and this release and that release. That's not enough. That you have done in a very desperate mode just to get rid of all your baggages. This you are doing it with very spiritual maturity. You are raising up your awareness, and from a higher awareness, you are looking at things. You all saw that whoever did the power of forgiveness. We are not sitting there and just forgiving. We are raising up our awareness and seeing things very deeply. And from that level, how easy it is to forgive. Because suddenly you start realizing, oh my God, poor thing. Feel compassionate. Not for even your loved ones, even for your enemies. You look at the feedbacks that's come from the way people cried and vented it out, and suddenly outlook changed toward their enemies also. That hatred which they were carrying, suddenly it has turned, if not love, but neutral. Because that approach, when you raise your consciousness and when you look at things from that angle, you're a spiritually mature person. But you have to come to that level of awareness, and that is what we are doing through this awareness. We are doing these programs. So now you will see the connection between these things. Once you come to that neutral level, where you come to know that you are not responsible for anybody's life, nor they are responsible for your life. You are solely responsible for your journey. They are responsible for their journey. And when you understand they are responsible for their journey, would you like to interfere or poke your nose or leg into their business? You will not want to do it. You will have no interest to do that. When you leave all that interest and when you live in your peace of mind, that is that state when you have become neutral and nothing around affects you. So if you come to me and ask about Vishayavasana what to do, this is the solution that I will give this because this is the highest solution. It is not about totkas. Yantra mantra tantra se you change your environment forcibly because that is karma. All is happening for a reason. You cannot meddle into the divine affairs. Once you meditate on the Upatesha Saram, you will understand that you are nobody. There is something else, and you don't simply interfere into that. You actually learn to mind your own business, but not mind your own business in that ruthless way. I don't care. No, this is minding your own business with full of care and love and support. You are there, but you're not attached. When you reach that kind of states where Vishayavasana is almost died down, now we can talk about Sadvasana. Now we can talk about self-inquiry. Now we can talk about that thing what you always wanted to do. Till you come to that state, it's not possible. Vishayavasanas will drag you back again and again back. And then the world will teach you, don't run from there, be there. And you like a soldier or what you call a terrorist with a planted bomb ready to detonate yourself. In that kind of a situation you are living, volatile, fed up, affected, all the time triggered, all the time angered, blushed by it, and feeling injustified all the time. This is because the world is teaching you that to go and adjust in the world, compromise, don't run away, be in the world and do this. So whatever nonsense the world is doing, you got to adapt to that. No, that is why people feel pressured up. Why things are not changing? Why I'm doing so much? I'm doing so much. I'm doing so much. I did this. I did that. All my life I've been doing. I did for them. I did for myself. Still, the situations are not changing. That doing is the problem. Too much of doing. We are moving into states of being. The one who is neutral is a being. The doer cannot be neutral. Please understand this. Catch my words. Very powerful sentences. It might hit your life. The doer can never be neutral. I'm repeating this again and again. The doer cannot be neutral because the doer, doing means ego. Without ego, you cannot do. You cannot say I'm a neutral person, but that doership is there or that enthusiasm is there to go and do something. Do something for myself. Do something for the family. Do something for the world. Yesterday over there, you'll understand. There is nothing called doing for the world. There is nothing called service to the world. There is nothing called saving humanity. It is only our ego games that feels we are saving. There is something which is doing with or without us. And the moment you come into a neutral zone and when you come into a being zone, then that might work through you. That's a different thing. Then you might save multiple people. Then you might do a lot of things. That is another thing. But there the doer is completely absent. So he is still doing through that. So that state of non-doership will come only with neutrality. Neutrality comes with awareness because when you are completely aware of every situation that's happening in your life, anything that happens, you are completely aware. You are not unconscious that you will get carried away with any whims and fancies, any drama. I practice a lot of meditation day in, day out. I'm practicing so much of meditation. And then somebody triggers And then all my meditation, all my sadhana, all my grace, everything is gone for a toss. I am running behind that, affected. What use is that meditation that you do? Meditation is good, but you have not done it in the right approach. Consciousness is absent, awareness is absent. So if you raise your awareness there, not at that time when the problem comes, you cannot raise your awareness. If you are already in a state of awareness, then you cannot fall down. But if you are not in awareness and if you get caught up, then it's very difficult to get into awareness at that time. दुख में सिमरन सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई, सुख में भी जो सिमरन करे, तो दुख काहे को होए. That simran is awareness. Even in the lower times, everybody is in their low times, they want to get into awareness, they want to be meditative, they want spiritual remedies. But during the good times, nobody thinks about the Lord. Nobody thinks about awareness. Why should I be aware? Now I can be unconscious. Why? Things are going good. That means you are practicing awareness only to make things good. When things are not good, you want to make it good. When things are good, who cares? These are all very low level of spiritual understanding. So until you mature from those states of spiritual uh, maturity, it's very difficult to find a permanent solution to all your problems. All the problem that is advised from the world is all temporary problems, very, very temporary solutions. Totkas, especially do this, do this, do this. You constantly have to keep doing that. You raise the energy of your people, of your surroundings. You constantly have to keep doing that. And there is no guarantee others because other soul agenda you never know. आपने टेका नहीं लिया किसी का. Their karma is theirs. Then they will do what their karma is. Mark my words. They are not going to change because you have changed. What is in their stock, they are going to do. So if you are sitting around and all the time trying to influence their surroundings, foolishness, you will get affected. And the whole purpose, the intention is not a pure one there. And when you want to transform yourself, चलो छोड़ दिया उनको. Now I am trying to control, नहीं हो रहा. मैं अपने आप को बदल देता हूँ. And then I am every time watching, कोई बदला, कोई बदला. I do something good, and then I'm expecting them to do me good. If they don't do good, then I doubt my own thing. मैं बदल के बदला के नहीं. So the whole purpose is to still control others, dominate others. Dominating is a very Rajsi quality. It's a very, very low and dirty kind of stuff where you try to control others. You want to dominate others as per your wishes. वैसा नहीं चलता दुनिया. Imagine 7.5 billion people, all of them only want to control each other around them. What will happen? Mr. A or A and B, this wants to control, this wants to control. What is happening? This is trying to control this is trying to control. What can happen apart from war? But the other approach is just leave the world as it is. Leave everybody the way it is. Leave yourself the way it is and just settle down with yourself in the being. First, come into complete acceptance of what life is. What these people are around you, what these circumstances are around you, why are they come? What is the reason for them to come? Nobody gets into all this. They will only say that this is not good for me. So they will run to a guru, to a tantric, to an astrologer. ये मेरा हालात ठीक नहीं है, हालात सुधार. Everybody is running for totkas. Nobody is settling down and seeing why is it happening that way. It is meant to be that way. That is what I told in one of the sessions, I think in Zoom only. When I went complaining to and running around crying around, this happened in my life. And the same approach, attitude I went to Ganesh Puri also. And only word I was hearing from Nityananda's seat, very strong and powerful, was forgive. This is meant to be. This is meant to be. This is meant to be. I didn't understand what is meant to be. And at that stage, you cannot understand when your mind is completely off. It took me years to understand decode what that message is. It is meant to be. What I'm talking right now. That is meant to be. That is how prarabdha karma is. It is supposed to be. It is the divine will. It is the destiny that's playing itself. Just because I want to change my circumstances, foolish are those people, and most sufferers are those people who want to run around trying to find ways. If they don't find with human, they will go to God. Supreme Court, arji lagao. Nobody is hearing me now, at least you hear. And there also they'll Supreme Court also they'll try to bribe. इतना डोनेशन करवा दूंगा, इतना ये कर दूंगा, इतने घी के लड्डू खिला दूंगा, चढ़ा दूंगा, घी के दिए जला दूंगा. Whom are you trying to do that? मूर्ता है, अज्ञानता. Why? Where it is coming from? Ego consciousness. I want to control life, my own life and life around. This is what Upadesh Saram opens up. You cannot control anything. My Gurudev used to say, the worst sin is to enslave anybody, try to control anybody's freedom. That is the worst, he says. Worst thing you can do. And there is no point in doing that. I can see all this. The vasanas, that lust for control is so powerful. It is there in the physical world, it is there in the spiritual world, everywhere. You see, even in the higher dimension, everybody is trying to control there. Devatas are trying to control the asuras, asuras are trying to control the devatas. It's all control games. I win over you. Here also, everybody is trying to control everybody, win over everybody, dominate over everybody. I was also tried to be controlled in so many ways because the way I want, we want, only you should go in that way. I said, hell with it. Because if I know this theory of karmas, of how it is, everybody has their own freedom to choose. You cannot make anybody dictate like I like this and the world has to function this way. You like it, you function in your way. Who's bothering you? What I like, how I like, my life will function that way. And deep, even spiritual ignorance this is. Being even at spiritual levels, we can't come to an acceptance. See, that is from where I've been telling, when my work was trying to be controlled so much. Something or the other, upset, put this person down. No, you have to do it the way I want. It's a dirty game. It's of no use. Because then your mind gets so filthy, you can keep doing any kind of things. You can go to any level. That passion, that lust for control and power. This is called Rajasic power games. Power games is the right word. Kissa kursi ka. In political arenas, you will find all power games. And you can see to what level they go. You can even go and kill somebody. You see all the Maili Vidyas that is done. All the Vashikarans and all this. What is all this? Control. They take even astral help now. Negative astral help to control things. Even if you are finishing off somebody, don't care. It goes to that because mind and this greed, this impurity of this mind can literally take you in that direction and you sudbud bhi kho jata hai. So sometimes I get stuck. Why? Where is your awareness gone, my dear? What are you doing? When I had started once these sessions, suddenly there was a roundabout that there is a psychic vampire in trying to suck out people's energies. It was all manipulated work because that was not the original content. They put some old content and put it in that time and that phrase to just scare people. Beware, there is a psychic vampire outside there trying to suck your energies out and all. Oh, we have got better things to do than sit with a straw sucking people's energies. What the mind can do, to what level it can make you think. Suddenly you feel insecure and suddenly you're out of control. You want control, and that will not happen. No free individual soul who has realized this can be controlled. You are free, you are mukt, and the whole spirituality is meant to free you, not bond you into slavery. And when I see slavery around, I keep speaking about all this openly. Don't become slaves to systems. I say even here, don't get so much slaved into all this system, and that includes me also. You don't have to get into it. Keep your bodha, keep your awareness high up. What you got to learn, you learn that. Until your awareness is high, you are at risk because it's a polluted world. It's all so mixed. You can't know what is right, what is wrong in this world. Very difficult. Even in the spiritual arenas, it's very difficult to ascertain what is right and wrong. If you just go unconsciously by the voting system or the larger this and all that, you will not know until you use your awareness. Because awareness will scan through anything and you can see it. And when you see it, there will be no doubt. It is a doubtless. Awareness is doubtless. The Viveka will show you clearly. If you are in doubt, then it's not awareness. It is still your mind. With the mind, you are trying to judge. That is judgment. Viveka does not judge. Viveka just shows you, witnessing. It gives you a discernment, is the right word. Discernment. There's a difference between judgment and discernment. So these are the catches. If you do not develop your awareness, you cannot see the situations of life in maturity. If you are not in that maturity, which is what? Equivalent to awareness. Means if you are not in maturity or if you are not in awareness, same word, you will misinterpret the whole situation and you will try to fight it out or find solutions in the wrong way. And we have been doing that all our life. We have been battling and trying to control everything, and we are getting exhausted. And by the end of life, when we come to know, we will understand, oh my God, we had come here to neutralize things, and what have we done? We had come to get out of this vicious cycle of cause and effect, and what have we done? Somebody sent me a comment again that for many years, living in a toxic relationship, how do I handle this with spirituality? Maturity. You cannot handle this with spiritual wisdom or knowledge. ज्ञान से कुछ नहीं होता. Your awareness has to rise to such a level. Your consciousness should be so high where you can see the higher truths of life, not the higher truths of that person. We trying to find out the truth of that person. Person is no use. You understand the higher truths of life, then it doesn't matter this person, that person, this environment, that environment, because everything will have a deeper layer of cause. There is a reason for everything. And when you know there is a reason, valid reason, you will simply not try to mend things there. Go and put your nose into everything because your mending is your karma. When you go to mend things in this way or that way, that is your karma. That affects you. That is how you get entangled. That is because of your, and why do you want to mend things? Because of your attachment, either negatively or positively. Whether be it your friend, you are attached, or your enemy, you are still attached. With hatred also you are attached. With love also you are attached. And what is the spiritual business here that we are trying to do here? Be affected by either. None of these. Neither by hatred, neither by love. You cannot be caught by love, nor can you be affected by hatred. If you understand this much, that's spiritual maturity. Only when you come to this state, then you will come to such a neutral zone where there is no need to control anybody. There is no ichha to control desire. Now what I'm seeing is I'm catapulting all these experiences into my own life and seeing how can I be a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta means जीते जी जो मुक्त हो गया, the one who's free while in the body itself. Paradise caregiving. God is the doer. I'm not. Yes, we all know that. What is new in that? We all knew this from childhood, isn't it? Somewhere we learned, somebody told us, God is the doer. We don't. God's will, divine will. उसके इच्छे के बिना पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. All these dialogues we know, philosophies we know. But then, if after knowing this also things affect us, then we do not know. That's what I'm trying to say. Knowing also we do not know. This philosophy should become experience. Then that becomes experience only. You are known as a seeker or spiritual aspirant. That is a sadhaka who has reached to that level. Manthan karke. Khud has transcended himself or herself to that level. Then you are called as XYZ yogi or whatever you want to name that. आपकी दुनिया की words. बट अदरवाइज वो सिंबल लगा के चल के कुछ फायदा नहीं है. घमंड और ईगो में लगा के आई एम दिस XYZ योगी एंड दिस योगी एंड दैट योगी एंड ऑल दैट, वो सिर्फ बातों में रहेगी योगी. बट हाउ फ्री इज दैट पर्सन? Somebody asked Ramana Maharishi, how do I know about my progress? How do I know if I'm progressing? Two different situations, he answered it in two different ways. Somebody asked him the same question twice, and the other person asked me some other time. To one person, he said, the lesser your thoughts, the more your progress. Lesser your thoughts means what? You are able to be neutral, not too much of worries, no too much of kitch pitch. That shows your progress. If you are all the time affected by it, then no progress. It's like you feel you are progressing, but if you are really progressing, then this should neutralize somewhere or reduce. So to somebody he told that. To other person he said very beautiful, which I catch that answer. He says, perseverance is your progress. This is very beautiful. Perseverance means not giving up. Regular. Like I'm doing Atma Vichara, I'm doing awareness, I'm trying to be in awareness, but I fall. Sometimes I'm able to, sometimes I'm not. But shifting into awareness, I keep shifting again and again. Means perseverance. I'm not saying that I tumble down, oh, ye meri bas ki baat, not my cup of tea, I'll leave it. Then that means there is no progress that has happened. But if consistently you're persisting, like all the people who are consistently sitting here trying to do something, trying to find out method, this is perseverance. This is called perseverance. Your consistency is perseverance. So that consistency is your progress, is what Ramana said. If these two are not there, then there is no progress. If you are persistent, you will automatically end up in neutrality and lesser of thoughts. That's how they are connected. Paradise caregiving, everything happens by the will of God. Only God exists, nothing else, no one else. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar Jai Guru Raya. Perfect. Yogi Ram Surat Kumar's words. Very beautiful. Nothing else, no one else. It's only God. And I can understand he's talking about verse 1 of this psalm. ड्यूरिंग द स्टार्टिंग टाइम ऑफ योर साधना आपको कभी फाइनेंशियली स्ट्रांग होने के लिए इच्छा हुई थी क्या? What has that got to do with sadhana? Somebody is asking, during the starting time of your sadhana आपको फाइनेंशियली स्ट्रांग होने की इच्छा हुई थी क्या? This has got nothing to do with the seeker. It is all got to do with your vasanas, and it has nothing got to do with me. अगर हुई थी मैं बोलूँ तो क्या, नहीं हुई तो बोले तो क्या? Are you going to live up to that? If I say नहीं हुई थी, so he'll say, okay, नहीं हुई थी मतलब हमको भी नहीं होना चाहिए. No, if I say हुई थी, then you will say, oh, then it's okay for me also to be. Not necessary. Situations are different. Factors are so many. Karmic vasanas, so many things are there. It has nothing to do with the spiritual progress or about the seeker or the discipleship. It is about my vasana. I can have vasanas. Maybe in the starting stage of my sadhana, that I want to be very financially strong. Okay. So I might do something to make me financially strong. Many years I must have done that. That's another thing. But the same me in another situation, in my starting stages of sadhana, that vasana is not there in me for finance. So I'll not take heed for it. And without that, I'll continue doing it. For many years, I might not realize it, that it's needed or not needed. But what I'm trying to say, both these people, it will not affect their sadhana because of, it has nothing to do with these things. Because there are yogis who have not fallen for money and gone to peaks. And there are yogis who have been involved with money and still got peaks. How does it matter? Whether you have wealth around you or you don't have. It's all about your vasanas, your inclination. What did I say? Whether you have people around you, circumstances around you. It is not about their vasanas or inclination. It is about your connection with them, your attachment to them. How much you are attached to those people and circumstances around you is how much you are going to be affected by them. Simple. Same way, even if wealth is there in you, around you, it's not about wealth being there or not being there. It is how much you are attached to that wealth. Your inclination towards that will make you happy or sad about it. It has nothing to do with a seeker's journey. Hope I've answered that. If you have any questions, you can ask on today's session. I think that people must have read the whole Upadesh Saram and still not found it, my guess. If you have any questions, please ask. No questions? I think I'll be doing this Upadesh Saram. I'm not sure. Let me see after a month or something. New people are asking about it. So I might do it. But what I'm realizing is even 8 hours is less. My God. Because some of the feedbacks came like, till verse 12 or 15, you were okay explaining it very nicely. But then afterwards, you started pacing up. But I believe it is due to the paucity of time you did that. Yes, that's very true. Because if I go very slow, then we went 1.5 hour extra. Instead of 6 hours, we went 7.5 hours. So I believe Upadesh Saram is something, if it has to be done, it has to be done in 2 days or something. It's not a 1 day thing also. Next time maybe I'll do that, and every time we contemplate on it, it has a different meaning. It has a different, deeper approach. So it's like it sinks into your being. All the truth, eternal truths. What to do for me? Bhaiya, suggest something. See here, somebody asked about this financially strong. Something just caught my eyes. In 25th verse is talking about something, but one para it is written. Ironically, our efforts to improve our image and achieve fame and wealth and power serve actually to increase our limitations. This is what we are saying here again. And I was talking about, you asked about finance, and I was talking about wealth and power. So the efforts to improve our image in this world, whatever I am, the false I, then even little I give efforts to improve this, try to achieve fame and wealth and power. These serve actually to increase our limitations, Vishavasana, talking about. So see how mindful this whole thing is, so mindful. Even increasing your own image, attempts to make your image. That doesn't mean you have to be a public figure. Even bettering your image in front of your boss, or the boss in front of the employee, or a family person in front of the other you are trying to improve, or you in society. One little thing here that you're trying to, because that will strengthen your Vishayavasana, your ego consciousness. So it is so mindful there. That is what I'm telling. These are very, very subtle uh, practices which maybe the world is not fully ready for, and that is why you will not find these things very common. It is not that these things are not known to people. Huh? All the great masters know about Upadeshasara. They're fully aware of it. Even in the Himalayas, they had told me about Upadeshasara. That yogi had asked me, he never told me anything, he was telling. And then one suddenly he asked, अरे आपको तो तिरुवन्नामलई जाना जाना चाहिए. And I said, Maharaj, I go there very regularly. हर महीने जाता हूँ 2-3 दिन. He said, वाह, फिर तो होगी. What is left then? You are at the right place, he said. That Himalayan Mahapurush. And then he told me, आपने उपदेश सारम पढ़ा है? This was in January this year. I said, हाँ महाराज, मैं पढ़ा तो हूँ, ऐसे ही एक बार पढ़ा हूँ उस चीज को. वो उन्होंने बोला उससे बड़ा शास्त्र है ही नहीं. वो आ गया तो आपको अध्यात्म आ गया. This is what that Himalayan yogi told me back in January 2023. So everybody is aware of this. My Gurudev also is aware of this completely. In Arunachala, he was actually given Upadesha. I never realized this because once he was telling me about Arunachala, and he was telling he was standing there, and suddenly some sage came and he called him and he took him near the hill, and then there was already a sage waiting there. And then the Upadesha Saram, he said he was telling everything in Tamil, but I understood everything. And he was telling that उन्होंने कुछ उपदेश दिया मुझे. बहुत सारा उपदेश तमिल में था, but I could understand. And later I could understand it was Upadesha Saram, Arunachala. So all the great masters know about it, but it's the only problem is how many are ready for it. And until people are ready for it, you cannot talk in that zone. Because then people will hallucinate. People will try to jump to that. And I'm very cautious here not to make people jump to Upadesha Saram just like that. You read, you meditate, you understand where you are, and then be happy with where you are and keep progressing. So I never encourage anybody who's discussing on 20th verses. Like, come down. Utro, niche utro, humble down. Don't fly. Because the tendency of the mind is to fly. अब मुझे कोई चीज की जरूरत नहीं. अब तो हो गया बेड़ा पर. नहीं. You'll see after some time you'll collapse. Because this is the catch of the path. It is not so simple as it seems. That is why I advise people also when they have experiences. I don't say, wow, you had that. Because then you can actually get carried away with that. You can hallucinate. The mind can give you all this. And the mind can even make you stop on the journey thinking that you've arrived. I've been through all these kind of phases. Mind cheats you and tells you have arrived, now you don't need anything. Ho gaya. Don't catch that. These are all byproducts of the practices and what I have been always advised by my spiritual guides, by ascended masters, and other guides who on the physical plane also, not stop until the goal is achieved. That is the final dissolution. Till then, there is no thing called reached. Whichever milestone you have reached, maybe there is some good thing there. But till the dissolution is there, that's your final thing. Don't stop. 2 days will be fine, Bhaiya. Yeah. 2 days is absolutely fine. Where we can actually sink down in that. There is no hurry. I'm looking at the time, and every people also look at the time. And sometimes it gets too tiring otherwise. But 7.5 hours people sat there. And some even said that, oh, I knew this. Everybody knows, not big deal. We have read about it, and somewhere in our conscience also we know it's there. It's not about what I know, it's about reaching those states. And to reach those states, you will have to sink down, literally sink down into everything. And your awareness will be so much sharpened in that time that awareness will protect you. Otherwise, the mind will take you for a ride. What do you suggest me to do? अरे मेरे भाई, मैं पिछले 3 साल से सजेशन ही तो दे रहा हूँ, हर वीडियो में सजेशन ही होते हैं, और क्या सजेस्ट करूँ इसके अलावा? और कौन सा एक स्पेशल सजेशन कहीं से बोनस में आने वाला है? पूरा सजेशन आज मैंने बता दिया. Full suggestion is there on how to live life. Today's session is that in adverse situations, challenging situations, I will never tell you totkas. Maybe people came here to just see ho kuch hoga or had some special formula about. No. See, I will tell you about my life this only. I told this last time also. Yesterday also I was telling, when I was in very adverse situations, when very unfavorable situations in the spiritual, in the worldly, when nothing was going right, just a couple of years back, everything was topsy turvy. Nothing was working. Health was not working. Wealth was not working. Success was not there. Relationships were not there. Love was not there. Courage was not there. All these problems were adverse situation, but only one thing survived me out: perseverance on this path. My only asara. I don't know whom to go and consult, have a personal consultation. Or I never knew anybody like that. The thing is, even when I was with my own master, I never sat with him and discussed anything personal. So now also, I cannot do that. So the only thing that I was getting more deeper is why and how to understand this weird world. Why is this world so weird? Why are things as they not look? And where is there peace in this world? Because I was thinking it's in this person, didn't find it. That person, didn't find it. This place, didn't find it. That place, didn't find it. In the world, didn't find it. In spirituality, didn't find it. Where it is then? So this disappointment, sheer disappointment itself was my catapult, my fuel. And I'm grateful towards all those incidents. That's what I'm telling you, because without those incidents, would I have gone so deep? If all things were goody goody, nice, nice, I would have still been in that hawa mehal, floating around, where I'm praised. Oh, you're good, you're nice, you're a spiritual being, you're a nice singer, you sing so well. I would have been singing all my life. That's all, just doing singing. These are the catches. But life through topsy turvy, when it shakes you out of your comfort zone, that is not to trouble you, that is to put you into deeper realm of your path, whichever you are missing out. It's telling go there. This is why it is called the divine plan, the divine will. What Bhagavan Nityananda's voice I heard in Ganesh Puri. All meant to be. So anytime, even this time, all these turmoils that were happening in my life, meant to be. That meant to be was what put me into that zone of deeper asking question. And whom can I ask? I knew that outside world can never give me. It never gave me till today. Nothing it was giving. No clarity it was giving. So the only clarity I was seeking was from within. And that so बोलते जो निकलती है, that पुकार, that जो deep yearning which came, the Lord listens to it. And I believe that is how I got thrown into that zone of Arunachal. And after that, what followed is all these, what is happening now. And after that, that stability, that sense of understanding, that clarity, and more of that neutrality coming, understanding life to a larger extent, then the frustration going off little by little about how the life functions. Now understanding why it functions very deeply. So when I understand why the world is functioning that way, I can relatively work on that very easily, very nicely. How do I work on it? By leaving the world alone. Dependency will automatically go from the world, because that dependency, when you find, was the problem. Dependency was the problem. That inclination, that attachment was the problem. Why would you catch it? And if you have learned this lesson very, very, very deeply, you're done with it. And please understand, until we learn this lesson, life will present the same lesson again and again in different ways, through different people, different circumstances. So now tell me, is it wise giving a solution that is so temporary and totkas, do this, do that, and then be, because again it's going to come back to the same lesson. This will happen sooner or later. Okay. Everybody, every single jiva that you see is going to go through these processes sooner or later. If you decide you have more time, और थोड़े मजे कर लेते हैं और थोड़ा टाइम ले लेते हैं, nobody can stop. You can wait for it, maybe in some other janma to come. Until then, you can run around finding temporary totkas and solutions with all that doing. I do this, I do that. I did this, I did that, and get exhausted. Like that Himalayan yogi told me, सारे साधन आपके जितने भी अध्यात्म में, सारे आपको थकाने के लिए. He says all the doings that you have in your spiritual world, all the doing, do this, is only to make you tired. And he said, जिस दिन थक जाओगे, बैठ जाओगे, तब शुरू हो जाएगा काम. The day you feel tired, running, doing everything, and sit down in the being, then the real life will start happening. Because then you have learned the lesson and saying, my doing is of no use. And when you say, my doing has failed, then the actual doer will take over. Till then he cannot take over, because आपने कब्जा किस्सा कुर्सी का पकड़ रखा है आपने. You have held on to the throne that I am the doer, I will do it. He'll say do. He's so unconditional, he will never come and challenge you. He is not that guy who will come and snatch your chair and say, no, I will want to reign your life. I will want to control your life. I have to be there. He'll say, okay, till the time you feel good, you drive. When you're tired, you give it to me. Like the kids, they do, We'll drive the cycle or until they are tired, and then they give it back to their parents. There is a small story that I used to tell my students 20 years back when I used to teach them meditation. See, somehow it was all on this divine will only. There we used to say something like, one day a girl was playing with a toy, very happy, very happy with the toy, playing, and then suddenly the hands and leg broke. The screws came out. It fell and the hand, leg all, and the girl is crying now, weeping very badly. Then my toy is broken. Attachment. Now God listens to it, sees the little tender child crying. God comes running and says, "What happened, my child? My toy broke. My toy broke. My toy broke." So God says, "Don't worry. I'll fix it for you." Oh, you can? So what do you mean you can? The toy maker was meaning me. You maker also meaning me. So I can. Okay. Well, if you think so, take pieces, and God is trying to meddle it, fiddle with it, and fix up the whole thing. And while God is fixing, child is looking very keenly. No, 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 not that screw. That screw is here. You take this screw. And not that. That is for the leg. This is for the hand, and continuously. She keeps on telling this, and God is looking at her and says, "Okay, my child, you're so wise. You know how to do it yourself." And he vanishes. And she looks at it. He's unable to do it. Again, she starts crying. And God never comes. He says she'll take care of her. She is very smart enough to take care of herself. I used to tell this story to the people there. It is the same. Our situation is same. I am the creator. I am the creator. I want to create my destiny. I want to create everything in my life. I want to create all these changes in my life again and again. For what? Till when? Will that you creating things out of attachment give you liberation from attachment? That's the big question. You creating good environment is okay, but you are never questioning what is it compelling me to create a good environment for them. Are you having that same inclination towards the neighbor? Oh, my children have to do this. Do you have the same inclination towards your neighbor's child? Then gadbada. Bhav gadbada, because this is coming out of sheer vasana of attachment. And so, if you keep on creating good things for them, good for them, you are not free from that vasana. You are strengthening your vasana. You might create environment for them. I'm not saying don't create, but understanding where is this root, and then you keep on acting on it. That's another story. So you produce, you give everything, you nourish your family, you do what you have to do. That's your cup of tea. What you can do is your karma. What others do to you is none of your karma. Of course, it's your karma. When somebody does something to you, it's part of your karma only, because that's coming back to you. But their karma is not in your hands. You can change your karma, you cannot change their karma. So if somebody is troubling you, if somebody is giving you a bad time, go deep and find out. You will come to know you gave a bad time to them sometime, maybe in a past life or something. You have forgotten it. Now you don't want this play of karma to take place. तुम्हारे चाहने नहीं चाहने से कुछ नहीं होता. It will play. That's prarabdha. So what is the remedy? Settle down, accept the prarabdha, what it is coming. When you accept the prarabdha, that doesn't mean you are giving up. Accepting the prarabdha means understanding the science of life. When you understand the science of life, struggle will stop, the trouble will stop, that trying to control everything will stop. And now you will accept everything the way it is, including the people. When you accept the life drama as it is, when you accept the divine's will and play as it is, only then you can accept people. That is secondary. Until you accept your life situations, how are you going to accept people? That's very funny. So I might differ from what the regular advices you are listening to or you have heard, because on a deeper level of understanding, from this point of liberation, what we're talking of, the whole thing looks different to me. So I can see If I follow that kind of an advice, I will get more stuck in the Vishayavasanas. And I'm here to liberate myself. So I look at things with little more maturity. And this you might relate and understand theoretically. Listening something, it's a gyan. To have side by side experience of that gyan, practice awareness. Very powerful. Without awareness, you can definitely join on this Sunday's divine presence, which is there. Already many have registered. You can join that one. There we are teaching actually how to activate this neutrality, how to become that divine presence of what you really are. And that is the first step towards moving towards self-inquiry. So you have to master that first. I did this program last time. 2 times I did. And there was very good response. In fact, the highest feedbacks that I got was for this program. And the highest of experiences that people got. You see the link. I've already posted it in shifting into awareness. Today evening only I posted about that whole thing. Just go and click that. You'll see the feedbacks of people, what they have written, their own experiences just during the session, what all happened, and you will understand what is going on. Jitesh, you saw the comments. Okay, you'll understand what's happening to people in various things, and how the activation of the divine presence is the solution to finding what I'm talking. All this, that solution is coming from the divine presence. That's not the mind solutions. Mind solution is all those things. Go and control things, change the things, do this, do that, do. And the divine presence is all coming from the being. And what all you heard from me, the solutions, that's all coming from the being, the presence. So, but for that, you have to activate that first. Activating is not something like a diksha or something. I am no one to do all these things. I just sit here, his command, his will. What he has to do, he does. So all those experiences are all credited to him only. God knows what he does. But I see that it is helpful and it is helping people. So many people were asking about what is this awareness about. I have not got a grasp of awareness. So like somebody was asking the other day, you're talking about awareness, but I still see mind is involved. And how can it be away from the mind? I said, you're right. So we are talking about gross awareness only here. That's absolutely right. I'll explain all this. I've explained multiple times. But as you practice and know it, there is a better knowing, and then we can keep on talking further. Because now, if I tell you the awareness that you are, and then the pure awareness which is there, and the Atman, and this what, it's too hodgepodge. At least have mastery on this through this awareness, where the mind gets suspended. Even though this is a mind act only, but still the mind gets suspended, and you are able to develop your viveka. In this state, the viveka starts developing because you're constantly putting the viveka to function. When the mind does not function, the viveka stands up to function. When you project your awareness, that seeing right and wrong is all the viveka that is doing. Mind does not do that. Mind can judge. After the viveka seeing something, after that the mind starts judging. So all these things are good for telling, but until you practice it, you will not know what I'm saying. And that is why we will have this. Tomorrow I'll be having this Zoom session with all those who have signed up, only those people who have signed up and done all these any of these programs and all. So I have a different set of broadcast group where I'll shoot messages, and only to them those Zoom links will come. So tomorrow we'll sit and we will contemplate on certain things. And tomorrow is, I think, Wednesday. Yeah. Let me see. Tomorrow we can do this, or we can do the Upadeshasaram also, those who have done Upadeshasaram. Where I'll not just be talking, we will be all involved together. Okay, it's a Zoom session. So it's like an open room discussion where we are looking at each other and discussing things and sharing your views, your experiences, your understanding, and your insights, whatever you feel like. All are open to it. So, open kind of a session, not a debate, but a session where manthan is happening. Chintan manthan and clarity is coming, deeper clarity again and again when we work on that subject. Very beautiful clarity comes. So when you are involved in it, you'll also understand what is the wrong, what is the right that you're doing. And sometimes you think you are doing right and it's not right. Suddenly when you see somebody else's this idea, their perception. So it's a very open thing. I think we can do that tomorrow. Let me see. However, I feel like tomorrow morning I'll update you. तो ये वासना और कर्म में डिफरेंस क्या है? साधना से कर्म नष्ट होते हैं, तो वासना का क्या होता है? Your karmas only create your vasanas. Karma means simple words, action. Action means karma. Any action you do, that is karma. And any action you do, there is a fruit for it. Any action that you create, there is always a fruit for it. If I take this mobile and from here I lift and keep it here, there is some consequence that is happening which you might not know. Even on the minutest level, even the air you have displaced. There is air here. When you move here, the air also gets displaced. Now you might say, what is this? Yeah, everything is there. See, there when you push this air, you have influence, you don't know how much. Because everywhere there is air. So when you push this air, that air pushes that air pushes that air. Everywhere if you see, the air is pushing, getting pushed all the time, this way, that way, that way, that way. It's moving very subtly if you see. Why it is moving? Because of somebody's action. It is called the butterfly effect. Means if the butterfly just flaps its wings here, it is said it can be the reason of a tsunami somewhere else. That is what I'm telling. Every action has a consequence. That action is called as karma. And when you do that karma, that inclination that you get, or the pleasure or pain that you get out of it, and the attachment out of that pleasure and pain that you get is called vasana. Suppose if I take this phone and see something in it, I like something in it. Now that's a karma, seeing something in it. Now, when I see it, I get pain or pleasure. Depending on that pleasure, pain and pleasure, I have raga or dvesha. I have craving towards it or I have aversion towards it. What are these cravings, aversions, raga, dvesha? This is the outcome of that karma. I did a karma, and after that, what is the karma I saw? After seeing, either I have craving towards it or I have aversion towards it. Now, these both are the cause of vasanas. Craving, when I like it something, I liked it and I kept it. Now that has created a vasana in me. Now that will make me do this karma again. That is vasana. So karma and vasana. साधने से कर्म नष्ट होते हैं, तो वासना से क्या होती है? वही होता है. एंड नष्ट पष्ट होना किसने देखा? How much your karmas are affected? How much is it depleted? How much is balanced? Who has known it till now? If I tell you this much is left, you can trust me. That's all. But you have no way to see what is left, what is not. So, in Atma Vichara, path of Atma Vichara, everything is left aside. All those things are there, but you are not interfering with your mind because karma, vasanas, tendencies, all these things are in your mind. Good, bad, ugly, gunas, mind. आत्म विचारा में इतना स्ट्रांग ये है कि it is not given any attention at all. The intention awareness instead of the mind, it is focused toward the self. So if this is the mind, for example, my awareness is here, not here. This is karmas. The doer gets into this and puts light here and all the doing. So that doing is what is explained in Upadeshasaram. Any doing you do, it also creates a ripple effect. There is a karma. That is why the rishis were told, you are doing the karma of yajna, but it is generating karma phala. So they are doing something divine to counteract something, but they are forgetting that counteract ke chakkar mein, when they do any karma also, that also has a boomerang effect. And that karma depends on what your intention is. Sometimes you might want to nullify a karma and try to do a good karma, but you are not 100% sure whether it is actually nullified or only a little, or maybe even more problem has been caused. That is all there in Upadesha. All this what I'm telling you, this also is there. Very clearly it is mentioned that the karma phala also is not in your hand. Forget the karma. Karma is not in your hand. Karma phala also is not in your hand. So if you think, if I do a divine thing, I'm going to get a good karma phala, it is false. But because you say nobody knows exactly what is a karma phala that is going to come to you. I have given 5, 6 examples of real life examples. I don't want to do all that here now. It's all discussed in Upadesha Saram. Because when we understand it. So it is not just a teaching that, oh, book mein hai. We are investigating completely with live examples, all those details, explanations. So if you are more interested, you can join the Upadesha Saram and you'll understand all these things. Because now if I talk something here, many people will be behind me. They'll get triggered thinking this guy is doing something which is not in terms with what they're doing. It is not about what they do or what I do. What they are doing also is right. What I am doing also is right. It is all different stages of evolution. That's what Upadesha Saram shows us. That is not false, you can say. That is also right, but only to a certain extent it will work. Even you tell me, you talk about, because many people lecture me about it. No, it's my creation. I'll create what I want. How can you say so? It's my life. I'll create what I want. Yeah, is that so? Then if you can really create and show me everything. You can't, you have limitations in that. You might have created petty things, this and that. Then if you really can create another 400 years or 200 years of life and show, or show consistency in everything. Why you as a creator can create probably health but not wealth? Why you are successful in creating wealth but the same person is not successful in creating health? Karma phala. You have your limitations. It's not then, if that theory, if you go that way, then I'll do any nonsense I want in my life and I create what I want. It doesn't go that way. The theory of karma only goes haywire. That I create anything that I want. I do anything out of ignorance. And the karma phala, when it is coming back, I deny. No. I'll create it. I don't want this. It doesn't function that way. Look around and you'll see it's not that way. So these are there, true. All those things can be done, but it has its own limitations. What are those limitations is explained in the Upadesha Saram. You do the Upadesha Saram, we'll discuss on that. And these details, we are totally investigating it. It's not just taking, like if you see or read books of Upadesha Saram, it is there. It is like a belief. Okay, that's a scripture. But there is no investigation on that further. There is no answers. You might have 10 different questions that will come up. There is nobody to answer it. So we have these platforms here where we are understanding and going spontaneously. It's not like pre-planned answers. Like, oh, somebody might ask this. You ask there and then it's clear because the matter is clear. If the whole thing is clear, then any question you ask, there has to be a solution to it. It is not a pre-prepared, what you call pre-prepared agenda, or some notes are made on it, or some syllabus we are learning. It's no way. So that is known as realization of the truth. When you realize certain things from the scriptures, from the guru, from the any other aspects. that you take. So hope your questions are clear here. Sahil, are there different states of avdutas? After realizing the highest, what are the other factors? Any difference between Ramana and the current other time siddhas? You cannot go by that because avdutas also there are many. I think there are around 9 or 11 types of avdutas. Now, who is making this? Like avduta can be in Bala Rupa. That is one type of avduta. Like just childlike. So like a child, it'll roam nude or happy or go lucky, whatever. Like that. One might be Chandal Rupa. One might be what is they call a lunatic, like a mad person. So there are many different in that also category. That and what I found is there is no point in going to that because what is the point in trying to categorize avdutas? Avdutas are only meant what they are trying to tell about avdutas are these people are beyond gunas. That's it. That's what the clear indication of avdutas, Avdut Gita says, Chidakasha Gita says very clearly. Who are avdutas beyond the three gunas? They will not be affected by gunas. They have no aversion, no craving, no attachment, no bondage, no desires. There is no desires. And they are gone beyond the state of even the speech and senses. Panchindriya doesn't work in them. They don't know. They have no hunger. They have no thirst. They have no kind of craving. They will not drink tea or they will not drink liquor or they will not drink food for satisfying their hunger. Whatever comes to them is just spontaneous. It just comes. They eat. Don't get it, no problem. They have no desire of sleep. They've gone beyond all the gunas. They have no desire for even speech. No speech, no talking. All the avdutas never talk. You look at the avdutas. The actual ones which are mentioned, three guna, gunatit. Then there were many forms that were given that this person also is that, this person is that. Then I've seen many posts also coming in there. I don't agree with that. Where then because these are not even mentioned in the scriptures and it doesn't make sense because avduta that state is beyond the indriyas where even body shame is not there. They're nude, nagna. Look at them. They move around naked with loincloth. Loincloth also just to for the people around them. That's all. They are not. Ramana was in loincloth. Bhagwan Nityananda was in loincloth. And there are other avdutas who are nude. Achar Baba, when I used to meet, only one cloth around his waist. That's all. And that too not even tied. If you would get up, it will fall that way. Talasheri Amma, Avdutamma, Yogini Amma, which is there, she is there. One sari, she will just wrap like this. And many times the sari used to drop. No body consciousness. Nothing like shame or nothing. There, nothing. That is the state of Avdutas. So, as far as I have studied my life, I've put in these studies and investigated all this. This is what this comes to me. Anything other than that, it has been modified by the world later on. So, I don't know who's doing it, and maybe according to their own whims and fancies, many people write about Avdutas. But I've seen, see, when they are gunatit, you say beyond gunas, then anything you describe after that you are talking about Vishavasanas. They can never have Vishavasana. Never. Avdutas are that. That is why they are in that special category. Any difference between Ramana and the current time Siddhas? How does it make difference? Let us say Ramana was no good. And there are many great current Siddhas. What difference does it make? Because these are perceptions of you and me. We put these labels and tags. Ramana Maharshi. Do you think he sat there and said, put Maharishi my title? So people called. People felt he was a Maharishi. They called him that. Somebody looked at Nityananda and said, Bhagwan, God. Their title. Did Bhagavan Nityananda say, call me Bhagavan? Did Ramana say, call me Bhagavan? He did not say. These are all titles put by the people. Self-titled are different. Self-title also comes. There are many. I don't want to get into this controversy because there's so many vast areas of saints and all these things are paramparas and all that. There are so many self-christened and all that. Whatever it is, whether you put a name for self or somebody puts you, it is still imposed from outside. And that has no difference in what they're invested. I have seen so many people who are uh, not even given the term of Avduta when they are Avdutas. I've seen such people also. They are already in that state, but nobody knows them as Avdutas. They call them as Swami. Now, if you go to Swami Malay in Kumbakonam, Prakashananda Swami, see, his name is Swami. They call him Prakash Swami is there. He's an Avadut. Nobody terms that. I've been using Avadut in front of his name. Nobody has put that. Now I have put my projection. Somebody has not put, they put Swami, their projection. What is he? Only he knows, God knows what they are. But if you have certain amount of awareness, you will realize that they are. So categorization is of absolutely no use. And even after realizing the highest, what are the other factors? I didn't get that. There have been ones like Bhagavan Nityananda and Ramana who are also known well and helped so many, but there have been many who have not been apparently active. There are many, at least few dozens that I know, who are not even the public doesn't know them. They are not in the public arena and they have no interest to even serve the world. Even people like Ramana and Nityananda never had interest to save the world or serve the world. Ramana, in fact, did not like crowd, and that is why he used to go and sit in the Skandashram there, which is there, Virupakshiki on top, because he hated crowd. And when he came to Arunachala also, this Tiruvannamalai also, in the Arunachala temple, he went and sat down in the Patalinga to avoid people, where rodents were eating his feet and all. And then Sheshadri Swamigal picked him up and brought him from there. And when he was brought down here near the foothills of Arunachala, he climbed up and he never came down. So almost 16 years he was on top only. He didn't like. But then things started happening. People started coming there and all those things. And then he said, the prarabdha. He said, this is prarabdha. Even what you want, what you don't want is not in your hands. See, there also Ramana said, it's exceptions. My prarabdha. People will still catch me. Even if the remotest corner I sit, they will catch me. That's okay. Now, Nityananda also, he was a mad wanderer, a lunatic, literally. Lunatic for us, mad for us. But in that divine madness, he was just wandering wherever he went. So there was no agendas for him. Whatever happened, happened in his life. He didn't plan, let me do this. Whatever he felt like digging caves, he dug caves. He felt like digging wells, he dug wells. He felt like going to certain places, he did it. And whoever came in their vicinity, they understood the prarabdha. They just served whatever they had to do, they did. And that's what Raman also did. So there are these people who are actively involved, and there are many who are not at all involved in any ways, but they are still helping the world. Like those Mahapurushas that I met in the Himalayas, they are not interested. There were other terms telling that we don't want to live in the dead, among the dead, जिसका चेतन मर चुके हैं, पूरा दुनिया वो चल रही है. So they don't want to get entangled in it, but they sit there and they do a lot of things which is beneficial for the world because they don't care for credit. What will I get? What will I not get? There are such mystical people also sitting in remotest corners and doing so many things for the world. But nobody knows also, and nobody will acknowledge, and they're least bothered. Okay, finally, I think I've answered everything. Anything else? Let me know, or we can wind up for today. Okay, hoping this today's video helped you. Tomorrow we'll have the Zoom session for people who have already registered. In case you are interested and you want to be a part of that and you will learn and all that, then you may always sign up on shiftingintoawareness.com/events. Page is there. There is a form down there. You got to leave back your email and your mobile numbers, and you will be contacted in the sense only updates will be given. All these links directly will come to you, whatever the things are. No other discussions are done there. Only these things are sent. Very nice session. Practice day ones. Practice this awareness, and you'll see changes happening. There is no need. There is no point trying to convince anyone, change the world. Just change yourself, and what you have come here to do, just do that. And two things you will see beautifully happening. One is that your life is unwinding. You will start getting more free, unattached by all these things. You will be moving towards your highest life goal, and at the same time you will be in the world. You will do whatever you have to do completely unattached, detached. Only you are not going to run away from anything. You will do all your responsibilities, everything, in a state of awareness, without any expectation from the world. They do this, they do from there only problems begin, no? Expectations. So that expectation only will die out. So you will turn more and more neutral. And when you turn more and more neutral, you have all the time and energy to spend for your inner being, because all the Vishavasanas are gone. If you don't have that, cut off from there, cut off, don't purposely do it. It should happen gradually. So when the Vishavasanas reduce, automatically you will have time only for yourself. Time of tomorrow sessions, I'll let you know, whatever it is. You all are all signed in there, no? So it shouldn't be a problem. We'll get the updates. I'll let you know by tomorrow. Okay then. Wow. I was looking at YouTube, and right time I saw 2.22.22. 2 hours, 22 minutes, 22 seconds. Okay then. I think we'll catch up tomorrow. Tomorrow I won't be live here. I will be on Zoom. So anybody wants to join these kind of sessions to deepen your spiritual practices, you can join. Otherwise, if you don't like to join, you can wait here and we'll have some spiritual gossip here as regularly. And be happy with it without practices. Okay, Sanjay Maheshwari, thank you. Thank you all then. May we all be blessed. May we all evolve. Stay blessed. Bye. Umanji, bye.